live right now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
We probably have to go to the TnT gaming page first.
Alright.
I wish I could just do it from my page, but it got to be a gaming page for you to do
What, for you to stream?
it. Yeah, off Facebook, off this stuff. It might be something different I could use, but
Probably sure. How you share that, Joe?
I'm finna share.
Oh
it.
yeah, I see.
What you sharing it to? Your page?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm first sharing it to the groups.
Right behind you. Yeah, 6 people looking at the joint so far. Yeah, Jalen Brown in here. Getting everybody a second to come in before we get started. Shit, y'all in this morning. 11. We got 11 viewers so far.
That's your dude with the Grizzly jersey?
Nah,
Nah,
with the dreads.
mine with the dread.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Calvin said he about to get on y'all later.
Oh,
We about to get on my head. I don't know what he talking about. 2K or y'all. I can't even drink. I got my mask on. I'm trying to drink some water. Shout out to COVID-19. We got enough in here, I guess. We got 21 people. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to TnT Game Chat right now. My guys right now, they're not too tough on the game, but it's okay. I'm going to entertain y'all with the gameplay footage. Got my brothers on here with me. We got Vaughn.
what's going on?
We got Coach T.
What's up?
Hey, just everybody know you. Y'all very popular on the Facebook. Just kind of, we got to give everybody the opportunity. Just give us a brief introduction of how you guys came together and started y'all organization.
Well, we started out doing camps. Me and Coach T were working a camp. It's probably been about 8 years ago now. And we had a bunch of kids in that camp that were 5th graders. All of them were pretty good. And we put together a team with those kids. They're all seniors.
Yeah, they all seniors. Now, shout out to all them. We had Jesse, KJ, we had Jordan, Tyreek, Lil Cat, Lil Rod, J-Bo, Justin Borders. We had Jalen. Who else we had? I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it. The main guys. We were really good with them for to be in our first summer, and I wish we would have known what we knew now about AAU basketball back then, because we were the best team in the city, hands down. We had a lot of great battles against like the Wildcats and the War Eagles, but we were a really good team back then.
Okay. Before we get into the juicy questions, just kind of describe y'all relationship as in y'all working together. It's kind of hard for a lot of black men to work together this long, and y'all been a dynamic duo in the basketball community.
I'll speak on that. It's been a great thing since I met him. I feel like when you're working with someone, you can't it's hard to have the same personality because sometimes you clash. Me and his personality totally different. Like he's like if I'm hot, he's cold. You know, we play good cop, bad cop. He's always good cop. I'm always bad cop. Like I'm the guy, you know, that with the voice. I'm the guy with, you know, that's gonna push everybody. He's the guy that everybody come to for answers. He's the guy that keeps everything under control, and that's what's been making us work for so long. We're good with talking to each other about what we feel like will work, what we feel like won't work. And at the end of the day, we got the same goal, and that's to win, to make kids better, and to put the city on our map. And that's been a goal since I met him. So I mean, when you meet somebody that has the same passion as you, same goal as you, and you just can vibe, you know, it makes everything easier.
Okay. Vaughn, this question is going to be for you. Like I said, we're going to start off slightly. To have this organization going for so long, and you're not big on sponsors, you don't have no big names like no Gatorades or Nikes, and you deal with most of the kids in the city. How were you able to do it this long?
Well, like far as our teams, I mean, we've always went to like the big tournaments. We've always been competitive. You know, we've always been successful. I think we were one of like the few programs that are really like big on exposure, and that's something that we always have been able to like guarantee. You know, players that come play for us. And then just as far as like our events, like First 48, we just have built relationships with a lot of parents, with a lot of kids, and you know, everybody kind of just shows that love back whenever we do something.
Okay. Speaking of First 48, y'all got a little backlash at the start of last summer about that. How did you feel about that? Did you feel that was kind of like exposure? Did you kind of feel they was just trying to take down what you had going?
I mean, it was cool. It was exposure. You know, we was on the news. The uniforms went viral. You know, the only thing that was kind of like that kind of bothered me was people were like speaking on something that they didn't really know. You know, they were saying it was ghetto or it was tacky or, you know, why are we like representing murder and this and that when it's really like the total opposite. So that was the only thing that really bothered me. But it was, you know, it was just more exposure, and everybody that knows us knows what it was about anyway. So it really wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay. Coach T, man, running the organization beside Vaughn, also a middle school coach at St. George's, and also an AAU coach, and also a trainer. Hey, just kind of describe your day and how much life you don't have no more dealing with all the kids.
It get hectic at times, but I can tell, you know, since I've been in it for a while that this is my, you know, my passion and just something I love to do. When you're doing something you love to do, it's easier. And I'm talking about some days I'll be at work because I work at Memphis Scholars and I do behavior at Memphis Scholars. So from hours at school to after school, going to practice with AAU boys or going to middle school practice or going to middle school games. Sometimes I have an AAU practice, then a middle school practice. It gets hectic. It's a lot of traveling, a lot of ripping and running, but I mean, when you see the progress your kids make, when you see, you know, the wins, like when I'm going to St. George's, it was a great opportunity. Shout out to Thomas, really good guy. Wanted me to come over to St. George's and help with the program, and it's been cool ever since. Got a real great pieces to the school. Amir, Mashad, of course, everyone knows Mashad, great player. Lil Trey. We had a really good season this past season. I think the team won maybe 1 or 2 games last season, and I think we finished out 16-6. So, and we lost in the semifinals to a great ECS team. So it was a really good season, and it's just a testament to your hard work that you put in, your dedication you put in. If you put it in, everything else gonna unfold. So I mean, it gets hectic. Then with the AAU traveling, you know, I'm really big on AAU traveling. I love to travel, and I feel like we have, to me, the best 4th grade 2028 team in the country. And even though we don't play it all the times, but they're 4th graders. They're not gonna play the best at all times. But I feel like we have camaraderie, and we just got all the right pieces to make us a great team. So I hate, like you said, that this little COVID-19 thing is pushing us back. But like I told Vaughn, everything is a blessing. No matter what, it's a blessing or a lesson. And It gives us an opportunity to work on our craft, work on our game, get better, work on our bodies. You know, a lot of times kids don't have the opportunity to really rest and get their bodies better because you do so much basketball. You go from summer ball to fall ball to school ball, right back into spring summer ball. So this just gives us a time to work on our game, and you're gonna know who's been working when it comes to fall ball. If your kids ain't been in the gym, it's gonna show. I see a lot of kids getting out of shape. A lot of kids really not working on their craft. It's been kids that's been in their lab. So if your kid ain't been in the gym or working on their body outside, staying in shape, it's gonna show. So I mean, I love the grind. It's something that I think about all the time and just think about goals. And my next goal is definitely to win AAU National. So we working on that.
Okay. I guess in the free time, Vaughn, you're pretty big on creating ideas. So with the gyms closed and the AAU down, you kind of started No Cap.
Right.
Kind of give us an introduction to No Cap and what you bring to the kids, you know what I'm saying, in the spotlight with these No Cap magazines.
Oh, well, like writing has always been like a passion of mine. And a magazine is something I had wanted to do for a while, but just never really had time, you know, with so much basketball actually being played. So, you know, with so much downtime, I decided to go ahead and put the magazine out. It was definitely a success, you know. It's just, I guess, you know, just some recognition for the kids. You know, you're on the cover of a magazine, got an article about you. We had all the rankings inside the magazine with a couple more articles. So, you know, it was just something new, something cool to do.
Okay. Speaking of rankings, woo-wee. There's been some heat on that Facebook about those rankings.
Yeah.
Me personally, TnT, I don't get into these type of things. You know, I just got in this basketball world, and I'm learning you guys, and y'all learning me, and I appreciate everybody that mess with TnT, from filming to training to even stepping in the studio. But we're going to talk about these rankings. So, Vaughn, first off, the hostility in some of these rankings. What would you say to, let's say, any of the kids that may come up to you and say, dang, Vaughn, why you got me 9? Why you got me 10? You know what I'm saying? Or why you don't even have me on there? What would you say to a kid that come up to you with that before we get into the deeper question?
Well, like the first thing is not a ranking. It's a coach's poll. So we polled 15 to 20 coaches and asked them, you know, who's the best 8th grade guard or who's the best player in the 3rd grade and whatnot. And we just took all their answers, you know, compiled it together, and like their common answer will be what we came out with. But like in order to be, you know, like I definitely wouldn't be discouraged if I was low on the list. Like just being mentioned is recognition in itself. But I mean, it's tough to be considered like the best at anything in a city like Memphis, where it's so many kids playing ball. You know what I'm saying? It's basketball being played all day, every day in Memphis. So I mean, it's hard to be considered number one. So I don't think anybody should be discouraged if they not on the list or weren't high on the list, or if their kid wasn't on the list. You know, it's just recognition for those who were on the list.
And I want to speak a little bit on that. Like you said, it's polls, so it's not. I see a lot. Even though, you know, Vaughn's the guy that he doesn't care, you know, how much ill will you have toward him or what you say. It's not about you as a parent. It's about the kid. So I see that a lot about, you know, of course, parents supposed to step up for their kid if they feel like their kid should be this and that. But it's not in the views of us or Coach Vaughn's in the views of all the coaches that he polled on this. So if the coach is seeing your child make a little bit or to a lot, you know, it just depends. It's just like if a college coach come in the gym and he only has 1 hour to check out the best talent. He ain't heard nothing from nobody. He just want to see from himself. And if your kid is not shining at that time, no matter if he's number 1 player in our nation, he's not gonna scout him. And it goes to show, like, you have to come ready to play every game. And it's more so for motivation. It's motivation purposes for kids to get better, and the ones that's at the top to stay there. Because no matter what you're doing, someone outworking you every day if you're not on your grind. And I see all the time parents chiming in. Most of the parents that chiming in, just being honest, never play ball. So it's like you have to understand what goes into this game of basketball. It's a lot of grind. It's a lot of tears, sweat, and tears. It's not just pick up a ball and hoop. Like a lot of times, these kids, I see kids that work out 2-3 times a day, and they're 8, 9 years old. Now, who knows they're gonna make it to the NBA? But right now, if that's their goal, they're working, and I feel like it's a motivational tool. You see a kid that you see on that number 1, you number 8. Oh, I'm going at him. But that should be your mentality regardless, and that's the whole purpose of this. Like, you shouldn't wait till a poll or ranking to come out to say, hey, I want to be the best. You should automatically come into it with their mentality regardless. So I feel like it's a motivational purpose. So everybody, no matter if you 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, keep grinding, and that's what it's all about.
Okay. Let me get back. This is for you, Coach T, since I heard you talking about grinding in the gym. Now, I mean, I train. I deal with a lot of kids, and I get a couple of mixed emotions from, hey, kids don't need to be in the gym that much, or, you know, let a kid be a kid. And some feel like, hey, anytime a gym is open, we need to be in there. So what do you personally think about overtraining or not training as much?
It has to be a mix, and like, I've seen a lot of kids that are great training kids. Like, they look awesome in the gym, but it always don't, transpire to the game itself. So they call it cone dribbling, cone drills. Like, sometimes you can't do a whole lot of cone drills in games. I feel like you have to go to a trainer, whoever you feel is best suited for your child, your son, boy, girl, your daughter, that's going to help improve their game based off what position they play and based off how well they play within the game. So, like, say for instance, you go to do 3-4 hours of training and then you're not seeing it on the court. It's a waste of time and money. You have to, do with the training that's suitable for your child. And I feel like you can't overtrain. You want to give a kid an opportunity to be a kid, but at the same time, you have to stay in the lab when it comes to, like, just different things from putting up shots. You don't have to always go in the gym and do the same thing. Sometimes you go in the gym for an hour and just put up shots. Ball handling. Got to work on your body, strength and conditioning. I see a lot of kids not doing that. A lot of kids just work in the gym, and if you can have all the handles all in the world, you can have the best shot in the world. If you can't get your shot off, if you can't get past the defender because you're a weaker guard, then it's gonna stop you from being a better player. So it's like I said, you have to have a balance. You have to have a balance of being in the gym, but at the same time taking care of your body, eating the right foods, studying the game. I think that's very important. Watching film. I'm big on that right now. I think that's more than anything. I watch a lot of podcasts with Steve Nash and Chris Paul, and Rajon Rondo is one of my favorite players to watch, but just not because of his game, because of how smart he is in the game. And I feel like that's very important for a kid, especially getting into middle school, to watch film. So like you say, it's not a too much time in the gym or too less time in the gym. You have to have a balance.
Okay. All right, Vaughn, now back to you. You're not too big on coaching. I don't see you out there coaching too much. So what clicked in your head when you started this NBA organization and you said, you know what, I'm gonna run with this. This is something that I think I should dedicate myself to.
I mean, like I said, we started with the camps and whatnot, and just always seeing, like, I'm big on, like, putting the best kids on the court, you know what I'm saying, stacking teams. So just seeing kids that were, maybe on, like, a community center team or a team that didn't travel, I just always wanted to, like, put kids together and, travel out of town, play in major tournaments and get national recognition. So that's kind of one of the main things that NBA is known for, like that national attention, whether it be coast to coast preps, Blue Chip Report, Global Grassroots. You're gonna see, like, NBA kids and NBA teams all over the rankings. Any age group, you can expect to see NBA nationally known, nationally recognized.
And it didn't start off like that, because like Coach Vaughn said, when we first started, we had, I feel like, the best players. Like, we used to have the best players in the gym, from the twins that used to play for Mitchell, AJ, We had kids. We had like little cat. Now we had them in the gym all day, all the time. And when we would go to tournaments, we would play in these little tournaments like Cater Jones tournament, or we would play in different little tournaments. Like Vaughn to do a tournament. We would literally have to pick. I had a little Mustang at that time, so we would literally have to pick up all the kids and put them in our car. I have 3-4 kids packed up in a Mustang. Vaughn had a truck at the time, so he'll have like 5 or 6 kids in the truck, and it was a grind like that. We started off early, so and shout out to all the coaches that do that. We're not the only ones. I know plenty of coaches that pack kids in the car, pack kids in their truck, and take them to games, pick them up, and no shade thrown. But even when they parents sitting at the house, they say, "Hey, coach, I need a ride." That'd be the worst thing for you to drop off a kid or pick up a kid up, and they parents sitting right at the house. But I mean, you get used to it. It get frustrating at times, but you get used to it because, shoot, if the kid good, if the kid cold, you don't care anyway. I got kids that's 30 minutes away from me, and I scoop them up. I mean, so it be like that sometimes, but it's all worth it because you get an opportunity for kids to get out there and play the game they love, and instead of doing something that they shouldn't be doing. That's the whole goal, whole purpose. And I mean, it was ugly at first, but when we started traveling, started making a name for ourselves, it made it much easier. Instead of us having to go pick up kids now, now we got kids coming to us. Now we got kids saying, "Hey, I want to play for your program," not just within the city, but without the city. We got kids from all around the country playing with us, up north, down south, west coast. They meet up tournaments, and that's big nowadays. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you another question, because I know y'all preferably don't do upper grade teams. Mm-hmm. Is that something that y'all leaving to the shoe circuit teams, Team Thad and etc., or do y'all one day just wish to push for the older group to go for a shoe contract of your own? I'm
glad you brought that up because I saw Cowboy post a dream team of 2022, and I had commented my team like I wanted to do a charity game. Well, with our teams, we basically just been going up and up every year. So we took our first team, which really was our most competitive team at that time when we started traveling. Our 5th grade team that I spoke about, this 12th graders now, we started with them first, but we did not travel. We was only really kicking ass in the city. Okay. So our 2022 squad, and I'm going to name those guys. I'm going to shout out all those guys, great young men. I'm going to name those guys. They was our first travel team. So we had Kyler Dandridge, KD, that's at White Station. We had Marquise at East. We had Big Chris at North Point at that time. We had Jamarius Carter. He's at Bolton. We had Chunky. We had Dreekis. We had AJ at Los Ann.
Bear.
We had Bear. We had Hunter Pratt at Christian Brothers. I hope I'm not leaving anybody off. We had Isaiah, Harden. We had Harden that said St. George's. We had a really good team, and we traveled. And I'm talking about we beat a lot of great teams.
Mason.
We had Mason, my boy Mason, that said ECS. And we had a squad. And then the next year, a few other kids went to different teams, but we kind of reloaded. We had the homeschool kids: Justin Morgan, Drew Kaiser, Luke Shoemaker, Zach Wheeler, and we strapped up with those guys, and we just kept going. Every year we kept playing, just took that team and added more teams, competitive teams to the organization. And we were really good. So this year, all the kids have been like, "Hey, Coach T, y'all got a lot of success with the young kids. Let's get us back." So before this COVID thing happened, we were actually going to play on the circuit. We were also going to take that squad and play on the circuit. The kids that I named on his post, on Cowboys post, we're going to take that team right there and shout them out, take them, work them out, put them in a little couple tournaments, and then put them on the circuit. So we really want to get back into it because that's the whole purpose. The whole purpose is to get these kids on a shoe circuit. You want to get them as many scholarships as possible, and that's what we want for our kids. So shout out to those kids. They're grinding, they're doing good. But if this COVID thing wouldn't have stepped in the way, we definitely would be on the circuit right now.
Okay. I guess we're gonna ask you a question, Coach T. Trey, you and Trey have a big bond. Mm-hmm. One of the players for you at St. George's. How long have you dealt with him?
I've been dealing with Trey for 4 years now. Yeah, I think 3 or 4 years.
Second.
Yeah, so 4 years. Yep.
Okay. Kind of explain the growth you've seen out of little Trey. Especially when you brought him up there to the gym the other day, he was lighting the rim up. I said, "Damn, that little Trey, okay." So I did explain the growth and maybe some of the headaches that you and him may have to go through, because I've been through some headaches with some of my players.
Definitely. Some of the kids, of course, you just bond. You just bond close to. So early on, I had a kid named, of course, everybody know College Darren's KD. I was close with KD. Then I started getting really close with a kid named Maine, Jamaris Carter. Snooty as well. Me and Von's close with a kid named Snooty as well. And Trey is another one of those kids. Trey was on our team. When we first got a team, he had came from Blueprint. We had a fall break camp in October at Manassas. And he had came from Blueprint, and he had played with them a little bit in the summer. And he had started to play with us a little bit. And like shout out to that team as well. My 2020, 18, he was, no, I went 2025. He was playing 2025. And like we had a squad back then. It was DJ Miller at Bellevue. You got Landon Royston at ECS. Caleb Carpenter, Wallace Carpenter, baby Draymond Green. We had Marquise.
Yeah.
They said PCA.
Okay.
We had, I don't want to forget about London at Germantown.
Ryan.
We had Ryan. He's at Houston. Kendall at the time was playing with us. Kendall Waters. I don't want to forget anybody. Is that it? About it? I think that's about it. If I forget anyone, I'm sorry, but I think that's about the main pieces. And Trey was just a spot-up shooter, but he was always a kid that wanted to be in the gym. Always a kid that wanted to get better. So I mean, I just stuck with him and kept working him out. And he's a headache, like you said. But like when I see him get better. When I see him and I put him against different challenges, like he played up on the 7th grade team this year, did really well with the help of Amir and Mashad, and we had a great season. But like I said, when I see him get better, it makes it easier, and that's how I am with all the kids. Like any kid that wants to work out with me, like you can ask any parent. I rarely even charge workouts. If I do charge workouts, you can ask all parents. If I charge workouts, it'd be like $10 for 2 hours. Like, because I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for, the fame or anything like that. I just want to see the kids get better. Hopefully they get them a D1 scholarship and make me part of the package deal. Send me to the college with you. You know what I'm saying? If you that cold, hey, I want my AAU coach to come with me. That's the only way I'm going to sign. Help me out. So that's the goal, So I just stuck with him and kept grinding with him because he's always been an underdog. But shout out to the people like Quay. Quay believed in him. Quay, Terry, all those guys from Blueprint believed in him from day one, and Herman as well. So all those guys been cool, and I just took him under my wing, and we just been grinding ever since. And like I tell him all the time, like now he's goes to a private school, so they still have to do work from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on Zoom. So he had to every day log into class. And this week was his last week, so I told him we grinding now. We grinding now. So taking away his summer, because I asked him what his goals were, and he was like he wanted to play for Kansas. He loves Kansas University. So if you're gonna play for Kansas, you got to be a monster, and you got to grind from now. I never take anybody's dreams away from them, no matter how short, how slow, how whatever the case is. You can overcome all of that. So like I say, I just been sticking with him, and we've been grinding ever since.
Okay. And Vaughn, I don't think I ever. Well, I heard people say they seen you mad. I never seen you mad. So what's up with your demeanor? And why you always so calm? You like to stir up mess, or you do it on purpose? I don't know why. Every time you talk about something, you create a controversy. But you always cool. So who gave you that demeanor?
Man, I guess definitely not my mom. I just be chilling. I will get upset, especially like when we out of town at tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
I go crazy on the sideline, but
yeah.
hey, I try to remain calm, keep my little cool character for the most part.
I think the one time I was gonna see Coach T coach a game, he got kicked out before I came to watch.
Hold on. What game was that? Don't choke me out. Don't do it like that now.
No, not Coach T. Vaughn. My bad. Vaughn. We went to Kentucky. We went to Kentucky, and he had to coach the 9th grade boys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They say he got teed up and kicked out. I said, damn, he just got there.
And did we win? We still won, then I think.
Nah, that game we lost. We lost.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, that was on a Sunday.
But other than that, I appreciate you guys for what you're doing, and I would ask you a question that's very broad since y'all dealt with the whole city. I would ask you guys your top 5 potential players that you feel was very gifted from the start and could make a change in the future.
For what grade or just all grades?
Just all grades in general.
We can do, those guys for every class. Really fun. He's great at that. Like, he scouts. Like, that's one thing. Like, I come to games, but I come to games like kind of like to watch. Like, what can I do to, beat this team? Because I'm in coach mode all the time. But Vaughn like goes to games and watches every kid play, every team play, and like scouts kids to see who's who of the class. So Vaughn's really good at that.
I would say, well, we watched a little hoop session the other day. One kid that definitely stood out was Elijah Curry.
Yep.
He can pretty much do whatever he wants to do on the court, and he's way better than what I knew he was good, but he really showed me something different. So, if it was just like one kid, just off the top of my head, I'd have to say Elijah Curry
as well, and I would say Elijah as well, especially for a middle school class. I'm gonna name more. Now I'll name a few more though. For that not all the kids. It's a lot of great kids in that class, so I don't want to leave anybody off. But for the kids that I feel like just a different level, it would be between I just say my favorites. My favorite in that class for 2020. 2024 would be Billy Richmond, and that's just because he plays the type of style that I like to play. He's a up and down defensive guard, long, but he's one of those kids that doesn't know how good he is, and that's why I like him so much, because his potential is so high. It's through the roof, but he doesn't know that yet. So just imagine once he really lock in, because there's a lot of kids that are dogs already. Like, shout out to Braxton, he's a dog already. He knows he's good. Kids like that are dogs already. Like Marlon. Marlon's a dog already. He knows where he's at. He knows that he's elite. But kids like I can name another kid. It's kids like Billy, and who were we talking about yesterday? Another kid that's just like that, that's elite but doesn't really play to that level yet. I gotta think about who we were talking about, but I know for sure Billy is one of those kids in that class that's really, really good, has a lot of potential. He just doesn't know it yet. And once it clicks, KJ Smith is one of those kids as well. KJ Smith is one of those kids as well. Once they figure it out and once they know that they're elite, it's PJ. That's who we're talking about. KJ Smith, PJ Mass in that class. KJ Smith, PJ Mass, and Billy Richmond are one of my 3 sleepers. Not because they're not good. Everyone know about those 3, but they don't know how good they are. So once they lock in and focus and see, like, hey, I can hoop with these people, or I'm elite, it's going to push them to a whole nother level. Everyone doesn't find it out at the same time. That's the beauty about basketball. Some kids find it early, some kids find it late. And you just have to stay with it. But like I said, those 3 right there, I love their games.
Okay, then. For the middle school wise, do y'all have any sleepers for the high school? I know y'all not too big.
Well, I'm gonna go with my homeschool boys, especially he number 1 in that class to me, Justin Morgan. He plays for all my boys. I love that team. They play for the Nighthawks. And Drew Kaiser, Luke, Zach. But Justin Morgan, if you ask anybody that has played against him, he's elite. He plays like Luka Doncic, honestly.
He homeschooled.
Homeschooled for the Nighthawks. Okay. And they play against all the best teams in the city, like BTW. They play against ECS. They play against Melrose. They play against all the good teams in the city outside of their homeschool schedule. But he's really, really elite. And a lot of people don't see him because he doesn't play like a lot of AAU or like that, and he doesn't play for a high school public team or a private school team. So, but he's really, really elite. Like, he's really good. He's a sleeper for that class. And Tyler Bird at Central, another sleeper. He's cold. Like, he's cold. He's one of those kids that just be, like they say, get it out the mud. He been getting out the mud. Tyler Bird, Amari, another kid like that. Maine. It's a lot of that 9th, 10th grade kids in that class that are sleepers. I'm not sure about 11th and 12th graders too much though.
Yeah, of course, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown, of course, he's number 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we getting up to politics level now.
Jaylen Brown for sure. He elite, and he a kid that doesn't he doesn't need attention. Shout out to his dad too, a real good guy. But see, him and his dad have 2 different personalities. And see, with Jaylen Brown personality, he's a great player. He's a great kid, great student. But he's one of those kids that he doesn't need the attention to, you know what I'm saying, to make himself feel good. He's just, if this, you know, if they talk about me, they talk about me. If they don't, they don't. You know, he's not gonna be like, oh, why you didn't mention me, or why you this and that. He's not that kind of kid. So that, I think that's to a fault sometimes, because nowadays you have to be your own cheerleader sometimes. You really do. I mean, you have to put yourself out there and really have to, you know, bat for yourself. Even when, you know, you coach, you got your parents and your loved ones and your coaches and your teammates batting for you, but sometimes you have to do it for yourself. So sometimes he fly on the radar, but his dad just posted the new ESPN ranking for the top 100 in the state of Tennessee. He's the #1 shooting guard. So no matter, you know, if it's out there or not, these coaches know. These, you know, the people that rank the most important stuff, they know. And, you know, it's a testament to his hard work. So he's one of them kids that's an automatic sleeper. He flies on the radar. Cam as well at ECS.
Yeah.
Cam as well. Cam is a bucket getter. He's been a bucket getter for a while now, since he was little. So Cam is another kid that flies on the radar. One of my favorite in that class is Applewhite. I love his game. I love Applewhite game. Smooth, silky, tall guard, handle the ball, knock down the tray ball. Bo as well. Bo Montgomery. That's how I got Bo. Bo is really good as well. So it's a few kids in that class that need the love that they should get.
Okay. Well, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys for coming to the studio and dropping by. We try to switch it up. We don't try to bring players in here. We try to get some coaches. Yeah. We're gonna try to get a trainer or two in here. We just gonna try to, you know, get different aspects of what's going on. And what better to have than NBA they self in the building? They stir up the most stuff on Facebook. But other than that, before we get out of here, do y'all have any upcoming events or anything y'all have planned to let the people know before we get out of here?
I got a few shout outs, but I'll let him get into the events.
We're gonna do the head of the class, which is gonna we're gonna take each class from 2nd grade through 8th grade and host like an elite camp. That's gonna be like the 1st of June. Still waiting on, you know, clearance with all the COVID.
Stage 2 start Monday, y'all.
So we'll have that up. We'll have those dates out shortly. And then of course we got first 48 in the fall. We don't Bluff City Classic and in the B League all in the fall. So we'll have those dates out as soon as we get them.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to shout out to all the trainers. It takes a special person to invest your time in these kids' lives. I want to shout out all the trainers. I want to shout out to all the parents that's putting in all the hard work and dedication, because it's not just the kids, it's your parents as well. This AAU stuff is not cheap. It's very expensive. Traveling is very expensive. Paying for trainers is very expensive. I want to shout out to all the dedicated parents. I want to shout out to all these coaches, these great coaches from AAU youth to middle